Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Hey, yo, what up? Welcome back to KritzKast. It's me, DuMmTm. With me on the stream tonight will be Core on production and GrumpyKoi and Mike for SDCK versus GABAGOOL, aka Yak's team, aka only one of these two can make playoffs, and actually already did. So the stakes are all over the place for this one, but I'm sure it'll be funny. How are you doing, GrumpyKoi?
Do you mean the stakes are all over the place or non-existent for one of these
well, there is still something left to be played for, actually.
Oh yeah, it's like top seed, isn't it, for
Yes.
SDCK or whatever they're called?
It's not just top seed, it's confirmed top seed. If they get 6, no one can catch up with them. But anything less than that, and there's a chance that the second game, I believe on Sunday in Prem, might steal the first place away from evergreen first place SDCK. On the first round of CP steal between the Yak squad and SDCK, is SDCK the favorites for this game for sure, I would imagine. First against 50 after all. Will be starting on the defense as well, so it's on the blue team to set up time for the other team to beat. And it's going to be an interesting one. Also, to get back to the point earlier, I don't think you need to force people into the pit. They kind of just do that on their own terms a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it's so much more satisfying if you're the responsible party. Like,
yeah. Once again, we implore chat to keep counting along with us in the cast here to see how many people will fall down this pit. This is the also important question of this match. More so than who wins. We'll
48.
see who will be the most embarrassed after this game.
Can I make a prediction of 48 this
Okay,
round?
I had an open game of 21, so that's a bold choice.
I don't care. We'll see. You know,
We'll see.
No, we'll see. No, what will happen is they'll hear my strat and go crazy. But yeah, we're starting things off right now. They're holding really quite far forward on this. Is it B point? I assume.
Yeah, that's the B point. A point is currently getting capped. As you can see, not much happening there. Spike just vibing. But yeah, forward hold here. Fairly common these days, I suppose, right? Many cats with up dispense armor can heal people up on the high ground. You really want the heavy on the high ground to just deny them getting that. Because once you do that, you gotta back off, right? You cannot protect your medic forward anymore. So that's gonna be the first point of contention for this hold.
Yeah, well, SDCK are actually doing that. They've got a really nice position of that heavy. So right now, Lakey, nice little snap and a bang and gets broken down. So, you know, they've got that pressure of that pit class. Now there's a lot of pressure onto that pit class from their power class, which is the demonstration man, as they push forward. But really, they're not pushing anything out. Are they going to try and do some sort of Uber exchange here? They are going to use in. They're going to pressure that medic really nicely, but they're not going to get too much. The reflex come in from the pyro. The pyro actually gets completely separated, and as that happens, Nubby with some big damage absolutely cleans. Oh, that was really bad for GABAGOOL. I assume GABAGOOL are blue and SDDK are red, just so people who are watching don't get confused. Yeah, oh! Did you see that? So quick, so fast!
Hey, you gotta be fast with these, right? I mean, you have no choice. If you mess up anything, it's just gonna be GG real quick here.
I was talking about production. Sorry, carry on.
I was talking about the missed selector. Anyway, back into the game. In comes the sack wave again, but they're just not getting anywhere. This is just standing there with an iron fist in front of them, and no one's getting any closer to getting a kill, let alone even close to the medic, and we haven't seen any E pressure yet. So maybe things have to change in that a little bit.
You can see a little bit of rotation from some outside players. Maybe, scouts just jumped on it, trying to create that pressure.
Okay, one scout alone isn't a lot though, right? The soldier falls back, it's all they're moving back right now, because at the end of the day, you just need to shoot this guy a little bit, and then he has to step up the point eventually, and the advantage can't take the game forever.
Philjack was using a bonk to bait, and Sniper actually comes out from Lakey, and they've got that high ground you were talking about before, where the heavy actually comes in, but he takes so much damage, and he actually does end up going down. But actually, lots of really weird exchanges right now as Nubby actually gets behind onto the med. This is really not good for the med, but Nubby's kind of furious he doesn't get too much. As Hiram comes behind, gets a pick as well onto Collide.
Oh, he could have gotten so much there, he just did die a tiny bit early, couldn't reflect the pipe. Assassin, look at Assassin, he's so weak after the pyro damage, but there's just not enough time. Oh, the medic's so weak, they're getting so much damage from the Gedu, but the Med is able to fall back. Such close calls for both squads, but at the end, there might still be enough of defense standing, despite being down 3 really good classes. Sniper and DuMmTm is just terrifying, Yak squad.
Oh, Lakey. Oh, Mezzo comes in, gets a backstab onto Poi. That's not bad at all. And they're actually going to use their Uber in, trying to get this force. They do get the exchange, but Nubby's actually left out in the cold and does end up going down. This could be really good pressure for them onto B. This is kind of a mess up from SDCK. And are they going to be able to stabilize? No, there's a 2 times on the point, and they've got great pressure, but they've got a lot of players super low. 1 HP, nearly God form scout on Vanu, but they're actually going to be able to push them out and potentially get this. I don't think Jackie Legs or anyone can really contest, and they're going to have to back out.
Yeah, they will get it, but at what cost? This has taken its sweet time, and while you might not be aware of the average times on these points, I can tell you this is not exactly a fast one here at all.
No, this is
I mean,
slow.
you can tell
I
it
can
took
tell
like,
this
3,
is
4
slow.
tries to actually get anywhere. You want to see this much faster than this, so they got some time to make up. But Gacky died in all this, just barely at the end, and couldn't leave this connector area in time. You can see the medigun just on the floor, on the stairs. And this is time to strike now for the Blue Squad. They got to be quick on this one. But how do they want to play this? How badly do they want to get into C when there's an open E point to contest as well?
Yeah, so they are looking to kind of pressure E right now and create that space for them. And I do feel, you know, even though they're slow, they could potentially capitalize on this Uber push into nothing.
They're
like
popping
only Nubby
in.
on his own. Yeah, that's not good. It's not good. They only get Nubby for that. There's probably an Uber going to come back into them. But forward sentry does attempt to go down, but does get spotted out, and Reflex is not going to be able to actually get that up. Shout out to Reflex. I know he's a caster here for KritzKast. And yeah, they again, like Tyram does get a pick. Was that someone going into the pit? Was that one? Was that one?
I didn't see
Oh,
it.
Yak does go down, and they're kind of trapped in spawn right now. This
It's
looks
going nice.
not
They're fighting
bad.
back really hard though, and anyone going down right now is just really bad news because there's so little left with the medic all of a sudden. Oh no, Assassin's all alone. They didn't even get the cap. It's the worst of both worlds. And then Nubby gets the sword.
Oh god, Yak just kind of like teleported in front of the heavy on SDCK and just like died instantly. So that's really bad for them. Right now they are struggling. Like I can feel that they've lost it.
How valuable these explosive classes are at spawn camping. Like it looked good for a second, and then Snap, Ram, and Yak are down, and nothing stopped them from just pressing forward anymore. They were just suddenly back on this point, killing the medic, setting up a full hold on C again. Because at this point, they don't really feel terrified about the threat of E. There has been so little E play in this match, beyond like one scout being on the cap. They don't think they have to contest that too much, and they've currently proven very right.
Yeah, and like you were mentioning about these explosive casts, like I think this is an old wording, but like calling them power classes is like really good here because they do kind of connote that power for your team, creating those opportunities. Jackie actually manages to get broken behind, but right now they're baiting that point again. But they've got a level 3 sentry actually on 5 right now, and Poi above in the little drop down window. They're gonna have an Uber exchange right now around C, but when they're doing that, they're just letting E go. There's no one actually rotating back, no one creating that like an issue. Oh no, but like Viljax comes in, does manage to get broken, but I think that's about it. Broken's been off-classing as a lot of different. Yeah, at one point he was a spy. I got confused, and they've actually managed to get Mezzo down as well. He's not managed to get. Oh no, he did. He managed to get
so much cap, and Vadu dies on point. This is huge. This buys them so much time right now. The C cap gets cleared up. That's still good news, but you really want to finish this one. Yak getting greedy with it. Wants to take the high ground here before anyone can take it. Has the heaviest backup. They're not alone over here, but they need the captain right now. Look at how close this is. The C cap helps. After the C cap goes down, ignoring anything that just happened, spawns do change a little bit here.
That spy just ran through, killed 3 people in a row with the gun.
No,
he had the
captain
blinky and he was let out. No, they
And
can't
he does the
stop
point
them.
as well. They're just doing
No,
it
they
still.
actually can't stop. Oh my gosh. Like, that felt really disorganized at the end. It really felt like SDCK could not stabilize past that point as they obviously switch over. But we'll see, you know, even if it looks messy, like you mentioned, A and B were capped in such a slow rate. Such a slow rate. And is that going to change here? Are they going to be able to push? Are they going to create these little spots you mentioned where they go for this high ground? They are rotating onto it and getting that set up. But will GABAGOOL do a better job of this than SDCK? Like, from what you've told me, I don't think they will, but it
Yeah,
could be different. We know.
I can tell you any dominant team in Six's history, it's the SDCK is the Highlander equivalent of that. Just they've been winning, they've barely been losing anything at all. It's easier to remember what they lost than what they won at this point. To be real with you. So if they still like themselves the best this season, despite one unfortunate loss earlier down the season in the COD maps, they've been looking really good on everything else. So it's going to be a tough one.
This is like considered by a lot of people the Highlander map. This is like the Highlander map as we do start this round off, and they've got ×3 on it, and they've got quite a lot of classes. They've actually done like a full body push onto A. They've not started on B that quickly. Like very different sort of idea and framing than really how GABAGOOL did, but they're going to bring in this heavy. This heavy is actually going to go down very, very quickly to Tiram. They've got the engineer up as well, and he is getting spammed, so now they're actually going to rotate into this point. They do get a little bit of damage out, but it is going to be down to these picks of the snipers, and actually Lakey is not going to be the one that wins it as Broken does it, but we have Viljak actually going in behind with a bonk. He's waiting for that to call off to try and create some pressure onto Py, but he's super low, and actually Py does end up going down to the heavy as they do push, but really like exchange for exchange, player for player. Mezzo does get a frag but dies. They're just trading frags left, right and centre, and it does ever so slightly look better for SDCK, but not hugely, as another frag goes out and they have their stage. Yeah, like this is not good.
Look at that.
Oh no.
Back into spawn.
Oh, he shouldn't have gone down though. That's really like he had no support then.
It's gonna be an awkward one over for the Pirate to defend the gun for a little bit longer. Yeah, look at that, they're moving it back already. They don't want to deal with the repercussions right now. Taran really weak as well. Gotta be careful.
Jackie legs
behind. Oh,
Jackie legs! Yes! Big boy! Does manage to get the frags, does manage to get Assassin.
You know that was like perfectly caught as well. There's no accidents when you push up with the soldier from behind while the gun is being picked up by the engineer. That was perfectly called to get this bomb in at the right time, and there was no failing that one at this point. Just really well done by SDCK. And here's the last-ditch effort to fight back on this point. Soldier gets past the pyro, but the rocket's unlanding.
Mezzo.
Gets one more. There it is.
Nice.
They get the medic in all this, but Assassin goes down as well. You were watching our medic. Both will die. But as it is on stopwatch, every point cap makes the spawn time for the defending team just a bit worse. It's only A right now, so it's not that big a deal, but it's still an advantage going get his way.
Yeah, it's I'm still a little bit worried for GABAGOOL because they're not really getting much forward on this. They're very far apart. We actually do see that Tiram does go very far forward, but he's creating a huge amount of issues. Doesn't manage to get the med, but does manage to get the pyro, but they're going to cap this off. They need to be super quick from it. Like, it kind of... the time feels a little bit better, but not hugely better.
Yeah, this was like a high 2, I think, which is definitely better, but it's still not insanely good.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, no, you want like a low 2, if that at least, right? Like a flat 2 flat would be like real nice on this point. For now, they're still on good pace, and as long as you're on better pace on the second half of the game, that's just all you need. Let's see how they can carry this forward now. Like I said, tiniest advantage going to get his hands here. A couple of people dying left, right, and center here. Hurts for sure, but they can just set up for an Uber here, whichever way they want to. For now, that's just now be spamming, but they're still remaining on this third point as Tram falls to his death.
Oh, that's another one for... Oh, there's only one. I can see the number. It's one. It's one. My prediction was completely off as Clark actually goes down. They do get the engineer, but again, like, they're really level 1, already set up on a defensive position like this. It's not really going to help them too much, but they've created a huge amount of time and space right now by having the 3 people on, actually causing Yak to rotate. And he was not in a very good spot. He has had to try and catch up with the rest of his team, as I think they're going to try and repush onto C now that... Oh, they don't even need to.
They're just preempting them, rotating. They're just not wanting him to get in here. And look at that, they can't deny this point at all. Heavy gets blasted with this one. Tag1 flying down the pit. The cap time is so rough on them. The stickies are not doing enough damage. Oh, yeah, it needs a little bit more, but he's going down to Vaso. And that's going to do it. That looked like Evo was going to just throw them the game away, but as it turns out, it was huge. It blocked for long enough that it made the difference.
Oh my god, you've actually got my Twitter photo. That's amazing. Could probably imagine, as I've spoken to Yak and I've seen him run teams, previously, shout outs to Stevie Wonder's Aim School. Like, he shouts. Like, I can imagine he was screaming at the top of his lungs for them to get in. He felt very, very alone at that time. And yeah, they just really couldn't do anything. It was very much locked out. I was talking about the sentry, but the sentry didn't matter because they had the mobile sentry in the heavy. They had that exchange at the perfect time, and we're going to go into the second time of setting, which is going to be SDCK's turn at setting the time, right?
Yes, now they are starting to see how fast they can do this, and that was pretty quick when I couldn't even pay attention to the action at the end, how fast exactly it was. But it was by all means a very good time to have.
It was late 1 minute. It felt like it didn't. Maybe mid twos, like 2 minute, but really not much longer than that.
Yeah, like after the B cap, it was not long at all. It was like a 4-2-5, something like that, in total combined. So a great one to have, great showing to get started. And like we said at the beginning, if SDCK wins this, they're getting first seed into playoffs, and that is just a huge thing to have.
Yeah, how is the seeding working with it? Is it
I
working?
believe it's still like every other season where it's first seed just get grants, and the other nerds have to play it out between themselves to get there.
Okay.
Who those other nerds are, we'll find out on Sunday, but for now we'll see if SDCK has to worry about that as well on Sunday, maybe. For the moment it looks good, maybe not Navi's jump there specifically, but it is just a cap. You can just die for 20 seconds without repercussions, really.
Yeah, Sunburn does end up going down, but Vanu's actually trying to contest his A point. He does get 2 frags. Not bad at all. And Broken actually putting in some work here. Does get 1. Now trying to get onto the Pyro. And a little bit different. They've actually managed to contest A little bit, and I do think that's going to slow things down. But still, like, Yak and the squad in GABAGOOL need to really think about how they're going to do this. I can see that Hiram is trying to pressure that heavy. The heavy's actually pushing them up quite aggressively as well. So really right now, drop down of the spy. The sniper is going to drop down. Oh no, he's found out that he's not alone. Vanu.
Wait! Vanu is on scattergun?
Yeah.
What on earth is happening?
I have no idea.
This is the least Vanu thing I've ever seen. Who's this imposter? Anyway, there's a new point going on that might be a little bit more important here. And I mean, it's going fine for Yak squad, right? They're getting kills, not thematic. That's the one you'd always like to have for this point specifically, because that's the only thing that's really slowing them down significantly. Now you're just holding without an Uber. What do they have to fear now?
Maybe Lakey.
I mean,
we'll see. He did manage to get Poi down, and that is going to give that high ground up to SDCK. So, you know, it's not.
Yes, the sap with the spam. Really nice job between the spy and the DuMmTm. Gun down. Flex has some quick building to do here if they don't want to get surprised. They're actually going in on them. They don't want them to take space with the gun down.
No, and I think this is all you can do is you can either meet them there and fight them and push them back, or give them that space. And the last thing you want to do is give them the space as Sunburn does go down. And Broken's been doing a huge amount of work this round, like a huge amount of work on that side, but doing some really key picks. And every time they tried to push, especially with their heavy, they've just not managed to do anything. They've still got this high ground though, and I think, did they just manage to get an Uber exchange? Yeah, and it does look a little bit better and longer for GABAGOOL, and Nubi's actually gonna get a pick onto Vaku. Broken goes down. This actually could be an opportunity for them to push in there. Yeah, no, this is perfect, mate. Look at this. They can push in now.
And they get loud as well. Everyone dying. All my friends are dead, and the assassin is all alone. Get out at least. Jacqueline's wasn't fast enough to chase it. In fact, shot down by Jarkus to try any funny business as well. It's necessary at this point, right? The medic needs to lift that. You gotta make sure of that. So necessary steps being taken, but that's still a lot of people down. You do not have a connector hold. And we've seen how much they could do just having this position where they can contest C and E at the same time before. That's still not out of the woods yet on the red team.
Vanu's just behind all the time, but Nubi actually does manage to clear him up and create a great, you know, little moment of showing us his kaboom. Viljack again with the bonk trying to get in. Poi actually does go down. So you mentioned about this connector. They're actually going to be losing it. Look at this.
Camping all the way behind as well. He's already finding a spy, but he's trying his best about it.
Jerkas does actually manage to go down, but what is happening? Yak, huge amount of pressure, but the reflex come in big. Jackie legs behind Big Boy. Again, getting some frags. I said Big Boy too many times, but that was insane. And yeah, that little play from Gacky Legs coming up behind on the cliff, managing to get those frags, has just opened things up for SDCK. But like I said, that was a high-end 2 minutes for the push on to B. So it was quite slow for them.
But now they're back on pace, right? Look at that. C-cap them on the ramps already, and in the meantime they're getting E-caps already, so... I mean, the D is an awkward one to defend, because at that point it's just probably easier most of the time to go E instead. You just kind of like get it by accident most times than not, but that just is beneficial to the red team to have a little bit more space to rotate, and they're using it to the fullest right now, getting back into White Room here, clearing up the combo. SDCK not quite ready for the rotation, but there's still so many people down on red. They get the medic kill, and it's still looking very rough on the defending team.
Yeah, no, they're not able at all to get into that open room, like at all. Like it's impossible for them to do so. Like you can see Gacky Legs spamming them out. They've got the revenge crits and Park, doesn't manage to do anything, but there's some exchanges. How did he just trade with a soldier? What?
Some people just got it like that. Yes, forces were out of nowhere. Need to use in here to clear up anything with this invincibility at all. Trying to get over the point. Some airblast coming in. Vlad can't blast anyone just yet. And the snipe as the Uber ends. Perfect timing for Likey. The point just under constant fire here for the defending team. And the numbers are dwindling. It's just Yak against the world. That's a tough world to live in right now.
Yeah, and I think the world just won. That's going to be it. On Nubby with the forward spawn deny there, and yet that's going to be a rather like as soon as B gets capped, SDCK just dominates from there.
Yeah, took a lot more effort to get through the B hold this time around, like you mentioned, but once the ball got rolling, it never stopped rolling. And 505 is a track,
by the way, chat. Just because I have an accent. Hello? I've just read chat. Gacky Legs. Alright? What am I supposed to say? Gacky Legs?
No,
that doesn't work.
Jack Kyle G's.
Jack Kyle G's. Okay,
yeah.
Jack Kyle G's. I'm sorry. Am I mispronouncing it? That's where I'm going along. Isn't it, oh, I don't know. Gacky Legs. There we go. How badly can I butcher this? That was not this map. That replay was not this map.
Anyway, welcome to our Borneo game in Australia. Hope you all are ready for some Australian gaming.
Sorry, nothing happened. Nothing happened, everyone.
There's no production errors in passing state. Alright, as we move on now to the second half of this round. 5 minutes is a real tough time to crack. Wonder if they got it in them.
I don't. If it's anything like last pace set, not a chance. But again, they're playing like it's very different. It's very different in idea. Like they only send like a few players in. Oh, Mezzo does actually get spotted off by a little love tap from Tiram. But it was very heavy, like sniper and spy dropping down on the drop down from A, but it's not being used that heavily by GABAGOOL, and they're actually like, I think they go to bait A already. Viljack actually gets spotted out. Sweaty rocket from Tiram there, and Mezzo now looking for an opportunity to backstab the NG, which he does. Saps out that engineer sentry. Broken actually did do the drop down, but as he had no pressure from his team, he couldn't do anything. The Ubers get exchanged, but there's not enough players on GABAGOOL for anything to happen. That was really nice. Detonator jump to push himself forward, but they're actually going to lose players as Vlad does go down. But yeah, board on. That little bit of movement made me really, really happy as they push forward.
They're also pushing behind. Look at that, 4 people just lurking in the B, behind the B port right now, trying to get something started. The bomb's not looking good, Barnes is needed right away. All of them just getting trickled down one by one, just outclassed in a row. All of them weak on SDCK, but no one died. That's just a rough one. No one can even get in from the other side. Yeah, no, and they know there's a spy behind. They're checking for it. They're expecting that rotation. There's no a big difference is SDCK pressured so much with this drop down on A. There is no pressure from GABAGOOL. Like on that drop down, like there's
they're not even, sometimes they're not even looking at that drop down. They're not even like concerned. And you can feel that it is just so uncomfortable. They've got, what, 3 minutes left? And they're not in a great position to really cap B at this time. They're just going for the ESAC. Like, it feels like that's the trick up their sleeve. That's the ace up their sleeve, is to bait people out. As the even do exchanges, Vlad does get absolutely teleported into the sky, but it's not going to be able to do much. And again, like, you can see it here, Bordon and Lakey are not afraid of that drop down. I think that's such a change. I know I'm talking about it a lot, but it does feel like you can see there's no fear, there's no praise. They're just giving it up. They're not even afraid. Are they just completely giving up, B?
We'll see. It's a very awkward position to put them in.
Yeah.
It's so weak. Everyone's just dying in connector all of a sudden. This bait has worked somehow perfectly for the blue team. 2 minutes left. It's getting tough on the timer, but it's very much still doable with a surprise wipe out of nowhere. They're still in it.
That's not normal. That's not like just a Highlander thing. That's just not normal, right? Like, their entire team just went into that connector and got smashed.
Could this be the world's first time where Yak is actually clutch? It could happen right in front of our eyes. Big contention on the spawner, big damage by Dram on the spawner as well. Gets only 1 kill with that, but the cap time's rough, right? You only have Pyro. It's still in the realm of possibility, right? 125. The scout caps that in like no time at all, so they just need to get that started again, but they're struggling right now.
They need to cap in the first place. Like, I was stunned. I was amazed at what happened, but then I realized that no one was actually on the point capitalizing off this. And they're trying to do this forward hold, but they should have so much more time. This is just hinging on the fact that Banu doesn't get spammed out, and there it is. Taking place by Pyro in the end. That guy is harder to spam down, but the snipes still kill you either way. So, and there's the stabs as well from Mezzo. Once again, he's just the best player on the server. And quite possibly the only one not throwing. Uber in.
Just
Uber
reverse,
SDCK. Yeah, like, broken with a nice little snipe. He's been putting in work this last map. The second time round, he's just done really, really well. As Viljack's actually having a little bit of a fight with Jerkass in the background. Broken's going to go and actually try and help. Misses the flick shot, tries it again. Viljack does end up going down, but I don't know if anyone saw that in chat, but that was a beautiful little duck. He pressed the control key and got smaller. And then, he's the loose cannon. He's the loose cannon. I was talking about this. Mezzo behind actually manages to get the sap on the sentry, and oh my god, this backplay is just not good on window. Borden getting frags. Look at them crumble. GABAGOOL. That's it. Game over. That's 6 points, right?
I respect SDCK for putting it to a science to find out if any given game is still losable. And they still win anyway, just by trying so hard to all wipe and connector. But they're just too good to fail.
What? I don't understand. Did they just throw that?
They really did try.
Look at this. Look at this. They had so much damage. They had such a good opportunity. They could have just put 3 people on the point straight away, and they just kind of discussed. They were like, let's recap. What happened? Like, what?
They're going to be trying really hard to win those games, I would imagine. It's going to be a fun one for sure. Down under. And just more games to be covered everywhere in TF2. TF2 also covering the Nations Cup for Sixers as well, coming up soon. And just more Highlander playoffs and KritzKast coming up soon as well. So stay tuned for that. Make sure to follow all of us. I think Reflect's just spamming our links in the Twitch chat as well as our brand KritzKast links. You can, well, not click, unfortunately. Although probably you can scroll down and click them anyway. And check out all the action not live on YouTube. Join the Discord to stay in touch with when things are happening. Twitch notifications are bad most of the time. Just get them on your Discord. And stay tuned for next time.